Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I commend the organizers for convening this important discussion on leveraging South-South cooperation for poverty eradication and sustainable development. I am pleased to be able to contribute. I congratulate all of you for launching a global think tank on poverty eradication and sustainable development. As a broad framework for collaborative action, South-South cooperation is both a platform and a process to address complex global issues. This think tank, like today's event, is therefore welcome and very timely. Excellencies, friends, the pandemic has exacerbated vulnerabilities and inequalities within and between countries. We see this particularly sharp in countries in special situations, LDCs, LLDCs, and SIDS, where existing vulnerabilities exacerbated the impact. This has created the real prospect of decades of progress in sustainable development being reversed, delaying or making almost impossible any plans to achieve the SDGs by 2030. According to the World Bank, the pandemic pushed almost 100 million people into extreme poverty and over 130 million to chronic hunger in 2020. On top of this, we face the looming threat of climate change, which was most certainly not on pause during the pandemic, even if our attention and in many cases resources were elsewhere. For many, the combined impacts of COVID and climate are creating a sinkhole from which they cannot escape, particularly when the tools to help them are being held back or tied down. Consider debt or impediments to investment. These are structural issues that hinder progress. Excellencies, there is a very real possibility of billions of people sinking deeper into a cycle of poverty, hunger, unsustainable debt, and austerity. Against this background, South-South cooperation is of clear utility. UNDP estimates that the value of South-South cooperation has exceeded $20 billion, offering significant opportunities for jobs and economic growth. Furthermore, the global nature of threats such as climate and COVID require global responses. Acknowledging that the threats does not end at your border is the first step. Reaching out a hand to support your neighbors and the global community is certainly the next. It says that we are all in this together, which we are. Ladies and gentlemen, while the twin impacts of climate and COVID-19 are setting back or stalling progress, this does not have to be the case. We have in our recovery an opportunity to turn it around and leapfrog into a better, more sustainable future. We simply must be smart and strategic about how we recover, how we invest our time, resources, and energies. How then do we leverage South-South cooperation to continue to push for poverty reduction and sustainable development? First, on scaling up capacity development and ambition. Throughout the pandemic, countries of the global South have shared their knowledge and resources to support response and recovery efforts. It is essential that countries in the global South, supported by the United Nations, share their innovative solutions. This includes scaling up capacity development in all areas, but particularly in those directly related to the threats we face. Access to renewable technologies, to medical equipment and vaccines, to digital solutions. Second, on financing South-South cooperation initiatives. One possible creative option is for South-South partners to get together in leveraging financial support, such as grants, concessional loans, or technical cooperation to support sustainable development efforts. The key here is the involvement of all stakeholders, including the private sector, to drive innovation and sustainable investments in green and blue programs. Ladies and gentlemen, Build Back Better has become a common phrase of late. The challenge, like so many others, is turning these words into action and ensuring that our recovery efforts do indeed lead to stronger, greener, and bluer sustainable development. This is a strategic opportunity for societies to thrive and be more inclusive, but only if we have the collective will to use the right moral and political compass, guided by the 2030 Agenda and the Paris Agreement, and only if we actually get to work. We cannot continue to talk about a sustainable recovery. We must make it happen. Then only then can we truly leverage the greater potential and achieve meaningful possibilities through South-South and triangular cooperation. I thank you.